Hey everyone, welcome to the start of a new trading week. So just to kick it off, let's make it nice and sweet. Let's start with the dollar. So the dollar from last week, I have been expecting the dollar to complete the fourth to fifth swing points, push to the downside. But every time the dollar got to this trend line support, it seemed not to be consistent with my analysis. And what I mean by that is that I was expecting the dollar to basically complete to the downside, but now we can see that the dollar has formed a sort of lower time frame correction at this zone. So Mondays are more days for setting the direction for the week. So one thing I will be interesting to look for, if the dollar breaks above this key larger time frame resistance zone and pushes to the upside, it will then nullify my previous analysis, and then we will look for corresponding trade setups on other pairs. But if the dollar then respects the zone, continues to the downside, gives some sort of retest, then we can continue with our original plan. So today will be the decide on what's going to happen with this dollar. Do we break up into this larger expanding pattern and continue to the upside, or do we just continue to push down and give some sort of retest, right? So based on outcome of today, Euro USD will prove to us what it's gonna do. So based on last week, if you recall, there was a long entry on Euro USD around the zone right here, and now the price is more like undecisive. So two things can happen here. We can continue to the upside, but for that upside to happen, we have to break past the zone, right? So as we can see with London Open, we have this sort of lower time frame head and shoulder formation. You can call it a potential head and shoulder formation. And now the price has just given us a big red candle to the downside. So one thing to note, if this price does this and this, we will then look for a head and shoulder setup on Euro USD. What I mean by that, I mean if you look at this looks like a head, and this looks like a potential shoulder that's forming. So if the price breaks below this potential neckline, gives some sort of push to the downside, then obviously our dollar being bearish is nullified, and we can then look for short positions on pairs such as Euro USD. US 30 is at an interesting area. If I did note from last week, I said that the price was pushing up from the zone right here. We were in a reverse range or slash expanding pattern structure, and I noted that price is at previous key daily resistance. So what I mean by that, every time the price hit here, we had some sort of reversal, as you can see, and now we are back at this area right here. And I am more looking towards an inverse head and shoulder on US 30, with this being the neckline, and looking for the potential shoulder to form. So one thing that I will be looking for today, I will be looking for a potential this forming into a head and shoulder sort of formation. And then after that, if the price does break below this area, as you can see, I've noted with my zones right here, I will be looking for the price to break out, retest probably around here, and then I'll enter a sell stop position and look to short all the way to the bottom of this expanding pattern with my stop loss just placed above. But the overall target for US 30, I will be looking for the price to match this previous potential shoulder, which then I will look for the price to go all the way to the downside. It's just going to depend today what happens with the dollar. So gold, if you recall from last week, I said that gold is not really looking exciting. We may have movement to the upside possibly sometime today or tomorrow. As you can see, the price has formed a sort of bullish descending wedge, and this normally signifies price basically getting ready to push to the upside. Although for myself, I will not be interested in any trades around this area right here. I'll be waiting for the price to break out of this wedge, either to the upside or to the downside, to start trading gold. AUD/JPY, from my last analysis on Friday, I spoke about this. I said that AUD/JPY was looking bullish because it was potentially in an uptrend sort of pattern for me. And I entered on Friday, and the price closed with me in a drawdown. And on Monday open, now I see the price is above, so I'm currently in profit on this trade. One thing I'm waiting for the price to break out of this area right here, retest this high that it has just formed, then I will enter more positions here. I'm looking for the price to basically continue to the upside, with my first target being around here, the previous high, and my final target being the high of this correctional structure. So that's it from me. Mondays or more days to see what the market direction will present itself, and then Tuesday will be much better to plan.